Hello, my name is Josiah Gilliam, and I work in the mayor's office here in Pittsburgh, the office of Mayor Bill Peduto, and I work on the My Brother's Keeper initiative. And this is a special treat for me, conversation with a community partner that I've known for a number of years before I worked at the city, when I worked in nonprofit land in Pittsburgh. And thank you so much for taking the time to join me, Stephanie. If you wouldn't mind, please introduce yourself and the amazing work that you do.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Josiah. It's very exciting for me to be here. So my name is Stephanie Romero, and I'm the founder and executive director of Awaken Pittsburgh. We're a very small nonprofit that works in bringing mindfulness practices primarily to educational institutions, but to a variety of high-stress workplaces, adults, and also youth.
Stephanie, it sounds like we are in a season where the principles of mindfulness and the work that your organization does is super relevant. Can you talk about the mission of the organization and what these new realities bring in terms of clarity for your work?
Yeah, so our general mission is to promote community and personal well-being through mindfulness practices and programs and compassionate action. So those are kind of the different areas that we focus on. And right now, with everything that's going on, people feeling so much uncertainty, a lot of folks losing work, fear around the virus itself, all of that creates a situation of high stress. And we particularly work to help support people in those high stress situations. And if you understand the physiology of the stress response, what happens is maybe our heart rate accelerates, our breath accelerates. There are hormones that are released that are part of that stress response, right? And those are automatic responses, but we can actually kind of reel that back in through working with our senses and working with the breath. And so the breath can accelerate automatically, but that's like a little secret way into reeling back those automatic responses, is because breath is automatic, but it's also something under our conscious control. So we can use that as a gateway into kind of reeling back the stress response. The other thing with a lot of maybe anxiety and fear is that usually that's about things we're imagining in the future. And so bringing ourselves fully into the moment right now, especially through sensory experiences, is another way to kind of reel that back in so that we don't kind of ruminate and our mind just goes off, right? And delves right into that anxiety and fear.
Thank you, Stephanie. Can you give us a working definition or just a definition that you share with people for mindfulness itself?
Sure. So I like to frame it as paying attention in a very particular way. And the way we pay attention is we notice our body sensations, our thinking and feelings, and even our interpersonal interactions. So maybe I'm noticing your facial expressions. Do you look relaxed or do you look stressed out, right? Or angry? And then there's a particular way that we have or attitude that we bring to that paying attention. And it's one of openness and acceptance. And that acceptance there is not a moral judgment. It's not, I believe that's okay. It's acceptance in the sense of the opposite of denial. So I actually see what's happening and I'm like, yes, that's what's there.
Thank you. Where can people find more information about your organization and the work that you do?
Oh, thanks for asking. It's awakenpittsburgh.org. So we have a great website that was donated to our organization. And yeah, you can find information there, and people should feel free to sign up for our newsletter. And there's an info link there that they'll email me directly if they want to get more information.
Wonderful. Well, one of the reasons we're having this conversation is because we've been talking about the idea of what are ways to provide examples of folks of different mindfulness practices. What would you encourage people to keep in mind as they explore on their own?
So one thing that's really, really important, especially someone who might have a history of trauma, is that they take it easy on themselves. So don't feel like you have to force yourself to do a practice that feels uncomfortable for you. So for example, a lot of the mindfulness techniques are breath focused. Someone who, say, has had severe asthma attacks in their life, that might not be an okay focus for them. That might actually agitate them more. And so some of the other practices that are more senses based might be more appropriate. So I would say people should follow their intuition. And if something is not feeling like it's right for them, then please don't do it.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for taking the time today, and looking forward to finding ways to work together in this season.
Great. Thank you, Josiah.